to the employee who has a badge but no voice, the student who finishes the group project while others present, the ministry team member who sets up the chairs and leaves last, the volunteer who carries a burden in silence, the assistant, the intern, the overlooked thinker. This is for the one with no title but with conviction. I am talking to the quiet reformers, the ones who can't sleep at night because something in you knows there is more. I came to wake up that more. Make a note of this. No one makes you a leader. They only recognize what you carry. Where did they make you one? That's the question. If you can point to a ceremony, a certificate, a corner office, then you are confusing confirmation with creation. You were born one. Write this down. Leadership begins as identity anchored in purpose, not a title granted by people. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart, says the Lord. That's Jeremiah 1-5. God did not consult your supervisor before he assigned your purpose. He didn't ask the board to vote on your calling. True leadership is not about control. It's about service. True leadership is not about power. It's about empowerment. True leadership is not about people first. It is about purpose first that benefits people. Purpose authorizes you before people acknowledge you. Say it out loud. I am necessary. Again, I am necessary. Necessity is not arrogance. Necessity is assignment. Your necessity is not ratified by applause. It is proven by fruit. You are the light of the world, Jesus said. Light does not need permission to shine. It only needs a dark place and a reason. When you know who you are, you stop begging for seats and start serving solutions. Where did they make you one? That's still the question. If man can make you, man can unmake you. But if purpose made you, storms promote you. I remember when I argued with God at 3 o'clock in the morning because I felt too small for what I felt inside. He answered me with a burden, not a badge. He gave me work, not a title. Write this down. Titles introduce you to rooms. Purpose introduces you to responsibility. And responsibility is the birthplace of influence. People won't always recognize you early, and that is good. Hidden roots make lasting trees. Your job is to become so aligned with your assignment that your very presence reduces confusion and increases clarity wherever you are planted. Let me set a promise before you. By the time we are finished, you will have a practical ladder to move change without authority, value, then trust, then credibility, then momentum. We will build it step by step. But hear the foundation now. Identity first. The culture may delay your promotion. It cannot delay your becoming. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The first truth is about you. Say it one more time for your future to hear it. I am necessary. Now, let's begin to carry what heaven already recognized and let the world do the catching up. You have felt it. Some of you felt it this morning. You see what must change. You even know how to change it, but you are waiting on permission. That is the trap. Write this down. When you need permission to be purposeful, you have already surrendered leadership to fear. Organizations will hand you keys to rooms before they hand you keys to purpose. They will let you open the building and still close your mouth. That is not because your idea is weak. It is because their training is wrong. Why do they resist you? Because they were taught to obey titles, not truth. They were catechized by rank, conditioned by hierarchy, discipled by politics. The Greek told them leadership is a product of natural endowment. Some have it by birth, by charisma, by fate. The Roman perfected it into rank and regalia, eagles, spears, uniforms, legions, so that power looked like clothing. Then colonization baptized it. Whoever conquered you convinced you that legitimacy wears a hat. Now, you work in offices where the tie speaks louder than the testimony. You study on campuses where the syllabus outranks the solution. You worship in churches where the chair on the platform is more sacred than the purpose in the pew. Make a note of this. The more titles you need, the less leadership you carry. False leadership survives on control, intimidation, manipulation, and politics. It is not about service, it is about self-preservation. Woe to the land when a slave becomes king. When an insecure soul sits on a throne, they weaponize position and criminalize initiative. They don't ask, is it true? They ask, whose mouth did it come from? Jesus said, you nullify the word of God for the sake of your tradition. That's Mark 7. Tradition can strangle truth. When people worship position, they crucify purpose, and when they crucify purpose, the organization becomes stagnant and cynical. Ichabod is written over the door. The glory has departed. Where there's no vision, the people perish. Where there's no purpose, systems protect themselves from the very oxygen that would revive them. Do not take all resistance personally. Write this down. Your conflict is often with a culture, not a colleague. Systems without vision interpret value as a threat because value exposes irrelevance. They fear disruption because they have no destination. Without purpose, change feels like chaos. You speak order, but they hear overthrow. That is why you are necessary. Say it. I am not waiting for permission to serve. Like David in Saul's house. Saul held a spear. David held a harp. Purpose calms what politics inflames. Your assignment is not to attack people, but to illuminate patterns. Not to win arguments, but to reveal truth in service. Remember this. Most resistance to your influence is not about your ideas. It's about a culture trained to honor position over purpose. Take courage. Keep your spirit clean. Refuse bitterness. The same system that resists you today will depend on you tomorrow when excellence breaks its spell. Write this down. Authority is a permit. Influence is a product. A permit can be issued and revoked. A product must be produced and demanded. Authority can command behavior for a moment. Influence changes thinking for a generation. Authority moves hands. Influence moves hearts, and hearts move histories. Jesus said, you shall know them by their fruits, not by their badges. That's Matthew 7. Fruit is a product. If you are waiting on a permit, you will miss your harvest. But if you commit to producing fruit, even those with permits will come looking for your field. True leadership is not about control. It's about service. True leadership is not about power. It's about empowerment. Write this down. Authority can enforce compliance. Influence invites conviction. Compliance stops when the supervisor leaves. Conviction continues when the lights are off. That is why politicians can pass laws and still fail to change culture. Laws can restrain behavior. Only influence can renew the mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, says Romans 12. That is transformation by influence. Let me give you a picture. A badge can stop traffic, but it cannot design a road. Authority can redirect for a day. Influence can re-engineer for decades. A title can summon a meeting, but it cannot create meaning. Meaning is the product of purpose served with excellence. Listen carefully. Purpose is your leverage. Leverage means a small hinge moves a big door. When you anchor your small act to a great purpose, you move systems bigger than you. Purpose is the fulcrum. Your gift is the bar. Service is the force. That's why you don't need the corner office to turn the whole floor. Use the right fulcrum. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. That's Proverbs 18:16. Your gift is the product. Your purpose is the brand behind the product. People may deny you access to rooms, but they cannot deny the hunger your product satisfies. Hunger creates alignment. When your value feeds a real need, rank starts negotiating with relevance. They may not like you, but they will need you. Wisdom is justified by her children. Results become your defense attorney. Write this down. Influence is built the way trust is built, one deposit at a time. You don't wire transfer credibility, you accumulate it. Deposit value today, again tomorrow, and again when no one is clapping. Every solved problem is a deposit. Every kept word is a deposit. Every clean motive observed over time is a deposit. You may not have authority to command, but you can build influence by producing value tied to purpose. Start where you are. Reduce pain. Increase outcomes. Document results. Speak less about yourself and let your work preach Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. Matthew 5:16. Works they can see, products they can touch, turn skeptics into stakeholders. What did I say? Authority is a permit, influence is a product. So stop begging the licensing office of men and start building a factory of value. We will climb this ladder together, value first, then trust, then credibility, then momentum, until change is not argued but assumed. Not by might nor by power, but by purpose, served with disciplined excellence. Step 1, value. Write this down. Value is the entry fee to every room you were not invited into. Doors open to demand, not desire. Change begins when your gift consistently reduces pain and increases outcomes for others. Not sometimes. Consistently. Do you see a man skilled in his work? He shall stand before kings. That's Proverbs 22:29. Kings are allergic to incompetence and addicted to usefulness. If you want the ear of leadership, give them relief. If you want a seat at the table, bring a solution, not a seatbelt. Make a note of this. Serve the gift. Identify your strongest contribution and deliver it with excellence where you already stand. Don't wait for a larger stage. Clean the stage you have until it shines. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others. 1 Peter 4:10. Service is how your gift introduces itself to destiny. What do people repeatedly ask you to help with? What problem makes you righteously angry? What task drains others but energizes you? That is a clue to your gift. Now serve it freely, faithfully, flawlessly. Replace complaint with craftsmanship. Stop announcing what's wrong. Start repairing what's weak within your reach. True leadership is not about commentary. It is about construction. Nehemiah did not hold a press conference. He picked up bricks. The people had a mind to work. If your mouth is louder than your workmanship, your influence will be seasonal. Write this down. Critique without contribution is cheap. Contribution without excellence is noise. Excellence plus service is value. Let me give you the practice. This week, choose one recurring problem within your circle. Just one. Measure its current pain, lost time, lost money, low morale, poor quality. Design a small, ethical, low permission fix. Deliver it. Document it. Before and after. Time saved. Errors reduced. Dollars protected. People helped. Then make your results visible without arrogance. 2 paragraphs to your leader or team. Problem, intervention, measurable outcome, next step. No selfies with the solution. Let your work preach. Let another praise you and not your own mouth. Proverbs 27:2. Visibility is not vanity when it serves purpose and invites replication. Beware counterfeit value. Business is not value. Noise is not value. Self-promotion is not value. Meetings are not value. Value is relief delivered and results sustained. If you post more than you produce, you are advertising an empty shelf. If you are everywhere but effective nowhere, you are a tourist in purpose. Write this down. Value equals pain reduced. Outcomes increased. Trust preserved measurably, repeatably, ethically. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Not halfway, not when watch might. Become so useful they cannot ignore you. Serve the gift. Fix what you can touch. Document your fruit. Let your light so shine that they see your good works and glorify your Father. If you do this for 7 straight days, the culture around you will feel a shift and the ladder will appear beneath your feet. Now hear me, because this is where many gifted people disqualify themselves. Value without ego. Reduce yourself to your first name. Write this down. Influence grows fastest when your value is offered as service, not as a demand for recognition. People do not trust brilliance that needs applause. If your excellence arrives with a megaphone, your results will be questioned even when they are right. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. That's Jesus speaking. True leadership is not about control. It's about service. Not about titles. It's about testimony. Let me rebuke something as a father. The more titles you need, the less you are a leader. I am speaking to volunteers and staff alike. Volunteer titles: Chief Coordinator of the Subcommittee of the Auxiliary of the Annex, nonsense. Staff titles: Senior Executive Associate of something you don't even own, fashion show. Where did they make you one? That's still the question. Reduce yourself to your first name. When Joseph had no title, he served his gift and the prison turned. When David had no crown, he calmed a mad king with a harp. He made himself of no reputation, Philippians 2:7. If the Son of God can lead with no reputation, surely you can straighten the process without a plaque. Write this down. Humility is not weakness, it is strategy. Pride is expensive, it burns trust like gasoline. Ask yourself every morning, am I serving the mission or am I auditioning for a promotion? If the camera doesn't show up, will you still show up? If no one mentions your name in the meeting, will you still fix the problem after the meeting? God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Grace is divine momentum. Don't trade it for claps. Here is your posture. Give credit publicly, take responsibility privately. Say to the room, Team A, solve this. Maria caught the error. James stayed late. And when a mistake slips through, step forward. That's on me. I missed it. I am correcting it now. Be the safest person on the team. Safe means you keep confidences. You don't weaponize information. You refuse gossip. Safe means you praise in public, correct in private. Safe means you never humiliate, never leak, never perform empathy for points. Write this down. Trust is fragile. Carry it like glass. Leadership that is not submitted to purpose becomes manipulation. When your heart is not anchored, your gift becomes a tool to move people for you rather than for the mission. That is witchcraft in a suit. Purpose purifies motive. Submit your strength to something holy and bigger than you. Serve to lift, not to be lifted. Whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant. Mark 10. Greatness is not a title, it is a towel. So sign your emails with less glory and more clarity. Share the wind, absorb the heat. Let your work preach and let others do the praising. Reduce yourself to your first name and watch heaven increase your favor. When value travels low, trust gathers around it, and trust is the next rung we climb. Now we climb to trust. Write this down. The only thing a leader has to work with is trust. Not the office, not the budget, trust. Without it, your ideas sound like threats and your presence feels like pressure. With it, even hard truth feels like help. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Proverbs 22:1. Name means reputation. Reputation means accumulated trust. That is your currency. Trust is not a feeling, it is a record. It is built by consistency, confidentiality, reliability, and follow through, small promises kept that become big doors open. Let your yes be yes and your no, no, Jesus said. If you say 10, arrive 9:55. If you promise Friday, deliver Thursday. If you cannot communicate early, own it clearly and reset honorably. Write this down. Silence breaks trust. Clarity builds it. True leadership is not about power. It is about predictability in character. Discipline yourself to protect the currency of leadership. A leader doesn't need external police. They police themselves. It is required that stewards be found faithful. 1 Corinthians 4:2. Faithful means I can set my weight on you and you won't collapse. So here are your practices. Be on time. Time is a moral statement. Be prepared. Preparation respects people. Speak truth without gossip. Truth heals. Gossip poisons. Bring solutions with your concerns, complaints that arrive pregnant with options. Get welcome to the table. Keep confidences. What people tell you in private should not become your public leverage. Write this down. Trust leaks fastest through the mouth. Guard your words. I learned this the hard way. Years ago, I gave a tentative date without checking my calendar. I wanted to please. My maybe sounded like yes, and a team set plans on my win. When I called to change, I heard the quiet break. The disappointment was polite but deep. I repented and I changed a habit. Now my mouth follows my calendar, not my emotions. True leaders impose discipline on themselves. They don't outsource it to HR. They keep the tedious promises, return calls, respond to emails, close loops, take notes, file minutes, pay invoices, because they know trust is earned in the mundane before it is tested in the monumental. Whoever is faithful in little is faithful in much. Luke 16:10. Make a note of this. One breach of integrity can bankrupt months of deposits. An exaggeration here, a confidential story told there, a missed deadline hidden rather than owned. Suddenly your influence credit score drops and your best idea gets declined. People still smile, but they will not invest. Don't play with that. If you fail, repent fast, make it right, over-communicate, and rebuild brick by brick. What did I say? The only thing you have to work with is trust. If you protect trust with discipline, your influence can outgrow your position. Walk in integrity and you will walk securely. Proverbs 10:9. Keep making those deposits. The next rung is already reaching for you. Trust isn't soft, it's structural. Write this down. Organizations move at the speed of relationships, not memos. Memos inform, relationships transport. Steel you cannot see carries the floors everyone walks on. In the same way, bridges of trust under the surface carry heavy change without collapse. Through wisdom, a house is built, and by understanding it is established. Proverbs 24:3. The house is the structure, understanding is the beam. Before you challenge the structure, strengthen the relationships that must carry your message. Empathy is leadership, not emotion alone. Comprehension with compassion. Climb into the pressures above you and the burdens beneath you. What does your supervisor fear? Deadlines, compliance, public embarrassment, budget overruns? What does your team endure? Vague goals, shifting priorities, tools that don't work, being blamed without being briefed. Let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, James 1:19. Listening is not passive, it is engineering. When you understand load-bearing points in people, you stop breaking them with your bright ideas. Here is your practice. Schedule short listening conversations, 15 minutes, not a therapy session, one above, one beside, one below every week. Ask, what does success look like for you this quarter? What from above is non-negotiable? What are the 3 biggest frictions you face? How do you prefer to receive updates? Format, frequency, detail. Where could my role remove pain quickly and ethically? Then reflect it back accurately. So we reduce cycle time by 15% without compromising compliance, and you get a 1-page Thursday update. That would help. Did I hear you? Write this down. Reflection builds bridges. Assumptions build walls. Follow with a small visible deposit within 7 days. Deliver early. Circle back. This is done. Any adjustments? Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt. Colossians 4:6. Map your relationships like a builder marks beams, above, beside, below, allies, neutrals, skeptics. Don't demonize skeptics, design for them. Give credit to their priorities in your proposals. This protects compliance, reduces costs, and honors your timeline. That sentence is a bridge. Advocate others when they are absent. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. Ecclesiastes 4:9. When people learn, you will not expose them, they will expose you to opportunities. Warning, if you skip relationships, your change effort looks like a rebellion instead of a reformation. A brother offended is harder to win than a strong city, and contentions are like the bars of a castle. Proverbs 18:19. Don't yank levers on a structure your bridges cannot carry. Even Nehemiah, surveyed by night, before he spoke by day, he secured letters before he laid stones, and families built next to their section. Relational adjacency created structural progress. Blessed are the peacemakers, Jesus said, not the power grabbers. Say it with me. I am a bridge builder, not a bomb thrower. Write this down. Build relational bridges before you move systems. What did I say? Build bridges before you move systems. As much as depends on you, live at peace with all men, Romans 12:18, and then move the mission. This week, book 3, listening meetings. Deliver one quick relief and send one clear update that mirrors what they told you matters. Do this consistently and watch the system begin to travel on the roads you quietly paved. Now we step to the next wrong, credibility. Write this down. Credibility is when people can predict your excellence and therefore begin to believe your vision. Once your name equals a pattern of outcomes, your proposals feel like previews, not gambles. What did I say? Predictable excellence births belief. True leadership is not about performance moments. It is about dependable measures. Hear the contrast. Credibility is not charisma, it is consistency. It is not talk, it is track record. A tree is known by its fruit, Jesus said. Fruit is not a speech, it is a season repeated. Charisma can fill a meeting. Consistency fills a calendar. Talk can gather a crowd today. A track record gathers consent tomorrow. Write this down. Credibility is influence stabilized by consistent excellence and clean motives. How do you build it? Bring evidence, bring data, stories, and measured outcomes. Simple, honest, repeatable. Here is your template for every change you propose. Here is what happened. Here is what we did. Here is what improved. Here is what we learned. Here is the next small step. Not a novel one, clear page. If you reduce cycle time, say by how much, over what period, with what safeguards. If you cut defects, show the before and after, who was helped and how risk was managed. If morale shifted, include a quote with permission from a frontline voice. Numbers for the mind, testimony for the heart. Faith without works is dead, James says. Credibility is faith with works documented. Excellence is attraction. When you serve your gift with excellence, people look for you. Then this Daniel distinguished himself because an excellent spirit was in him and kings planned to promote him. Excellence has a scent, preparation, precision, and peace under pressure. It has a sound, clear updates. Early delivery, quiet ownership of errors, loud celebration of others. It has a sight, clean documents, crisp visuals, tidy spaces, accurate names, courteous tone. Do you see it? Excellence makes you easy to trust. Kings travel to hear Solomon because wisdom consistently produces outcomes. When your results become reputation, calendars move to accommodate your voice. Make a note of this. Credibility requires clean motives. If the change is for your glory, it will collapse under pressure. Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them. Matthew 6:1. God promotes what he can trust. The refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests the hearts. Proverbs 17:3. Don't cook numbers. Don't overstate wins. Don't hide risk. Man looks at the outward appearance. The Lord looks at the heart. If you need the credit, you will distort the evidence. Keep your motives pure. Service to purpose, protection of people, stewardship of resources, honor to God. Here is your practice for the next 30 days. Build a credibility file. 5 short case notes, each one-page problem, intervention, measurable improvement, learning, next step. Keep them accessible. In your next meeting, don't sell, show. Lay the pages down and say, here is what happened. Here is what improved. Here is how we can scale without breaking trust. Ask for scrutiny. Invite questions. If you miss something, own it and adjust. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one who is perverse in his ways. Proverbs 19:1. Integrity keeps your floor from cracking under weight. What did I say? Credibility is not charisma, it is consistency. Let results become your reputation. When your excellence can be predicted and your motives are clean, your influence stops wobbling. It stands. And once it stands, it can run. Now that results are speaking for you, you must learn to speak for your results. Write this down. When you frame change as service to purpose, your message becomes easier to accept and harder to dismiss. Leaders don't have time for your preferences. They are stewards of purpose. Stop saying, I think. Start saying this serves the mission. Because true leadership is not about expressing opinion, it is about expressing purpose. Timing and tone matter. Let all things be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Ask for permission to share. Do not ambush meetings with emotion. Say, may I have 7 minutes on Thursday to propose a purpose-aligned pilot. A soft answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1. So arrive with calm, clarity, and concision. Bring 1 page, not a novel. Respect the room's constraints. Honor authority without surrendering conviction. Daniel asked permission of the chief official and then stood firm. Daniel 1-8. You can respect rank while challenging dysfunction. Say, I honor your role and our constraints. For the sake of our purpose, may I show where we're leaking value and a small way to stop it without violating compliance. Here is your script. Write this down and practice it aloud. Define the problem. Right now, step C causes a 3-day delay in onboarding. Show the impact. This costs 120 staff hours a month, frustrates new hires, and increases errors by 15%, which raises compliance risk. Propose a pilot. I'm requesting a 4-day pilot with Team Delta to reorder steps A and C and introduce a 2-minute checklist. Name the cost. Cost is $800 for a shared tool and 6 redirected staff hours. No policy change required. And state the benefit to people. This protects compliance, gets new hires, productive 2 days faster, reduces weekend work for HR, and cuts error rework that is burning our front line. Close with service, not ego. If approved, I will set it up, report daily in 1 page, and shut it down immediately if any risk emerges. Then be silent. Let the weight of purpose speak. Make a note of this. People do not resist change as much as they resist being shamed. Don't frame the past as foolish. Frame the future as faithful. Say, our current process served us at one size. Our growth now requires a small adjustment to serve people better. Speak the truth in love, Ephesians 4:15. Love removes humiliation from truth. Truth removes sentimentality from love. Language is leverage. Replace I feel with the mission requires. Replace my idea with our purpose is best served by. Replace it would be nice with. This safeguards our customers and our people. Replace, they never listen with here is evidence our purpose is being hindered and a reversible pilot to help. What did I say? Present purpose, not personal preference. This week, rewrite 1 proposal using the 5-step script. Request a time slot. Bring a 1-page brief. Lead with purpose. Speak with honor. Ask with courage. And close with service. Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt. Colossians 4:6. When you speak like this, leaders hear you because you're not asking for attention. You are advancing the mission. Now we climb to the 4th rung, momentum. Write this down. Momentum is visible progress that lowers fear and raises faith. Fear is the brake pedal of culture. Faith is the accelerator. When people can see movement, they start to believe movement is possible. Do not despise the day of small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Zechariah 4:10. God clapped for the first brick, not just the finished wall. True leadership is not about fireworks. It is about forward motion. Start small, within your controllable zone. Make a note of this. Big doors swing on small hinges, but you must install the hinge you can touch. Choose a pilot you can implement without permission drama, a checklist, a reorder of steps, a shared template, a 5-minute huddle, quick wins, clean wins, repeatable wins. Little by little, I will drive them out from before you. Exodus 23:30. Strategy is stewardship. Little by little keeps trust intact while systems learn to move. Win publicly, multiply quietly. That is your rhythm. Public wins are not for ego, they are for faith. Share a 1-page before and after with the team. Post a small scoreboard in the common area. Time saved, errors reduced, dollars protected, people helped. Celebrate names. Aisha spotted the flaw. Omar built the checklist. Testimony breeds courage. They overcame by the word of their testimony. Revelation 12:11. But keep the multiplication quiet. No parades, just apprenticeships. Train 2 others in the process you just proved. Write this down. If you are the only engine, you are not leading, you are hoarding. What you have heard from me, commit to faithful people who will be able to teach others also. 2 Timothy 2:2. Jesus sent them 2 by 2. He built momentum by multiplication, not celebrity. Here is your cadence. Weekly improvements. Choose 1 friction, deliver 1% better, and document it. Monthly showcases, 15 minutes, where teams bring a single slide problem, fix, result, no theatrics, just fruit. Quarterly expansions. Take 1 proven practice and extend it to a new team or process with a written playbook and a named owner. Keep the story alive. Culture remembers what is repeated. The path of the just is like the shining sun that shines ever brighter unto the perfect day, Proverbs 4:18. Brighter and brighter, that is, momentum's light. Warning, momentum dies when you overpromise. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, Proverbs 13:12. Sick hearts slam brakes. Underpromise, overdeliver. Let your results talk louder than your ambition. It is better not to vow than to vow and not pay, Ecclesiastes 5:5. Don't sell the city when you've only paved the street. Speak humbly. We have proven this on a small scale. With your permission, we will extend it 1 step and monitor closely. What did I say? Start small, win publicly, multiply quietly. Momentum is the proof that your influence is real. Small wins become cultural permission for bigger change. This very week, pick 1 hinge you can move. Deliver visible win. Teach 2 people your method and schedule a 10-minute share back. Next month, showcase. Next quarter, expand. Keep the cadence. Keep the story. And watch a cautious organization begin to lean forward because faith has found its eyes. Now hear me with a sober heart. The higher you climb this ladder, the more temptation will whisper, use shortcuts. Write this down. If you gain change through politics, you will lose the culture through mistrust. Politicians are concerned about the next election. Leaders are concerned about the next generation. Statesmanship serves purpose. Politics seeks advantage. Righteousness exalts a nation, Proverbs 14:34. And righteousness exalts an organization. True leadership is not about winning moments. It is about building a future your children can live in. Let me expose the traps for the non-boss. First, flattery, upward coating truth and sugar to buy favor. A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet, Proverbs 29:5. Flattery is a net. One day you'll be the catch. Second, sabotage sideways starving colleagues of information, whispering to shrink their credibility so your idea looks big. He who goes about as a talebearer reveals secrets, therefore do not associate with him, Proverbs 20:19. Talebearing is termite leadership. It hollows the beams you must later stand on. Third, resentment, downward punishing your team for the access you don't have above you. Bitter leaders bruise good people. See to it that no root of bitterness springs up and defiles many. Hebrews 12:15. Write this down. Politics without principles will always corrupt your gift and poison your team. So what are our guardrails? Make a note of this. Document truth. Keep a clear, dated record of problems, baselines, pilots, results, and approvals. Follow conversations with honoring summaries. As discussed, for the sake of the mission, we will. Documentation is not drama, it is stewardship. Next, refuse gossip alliances. If someone invites you to a whisper war, reply, let's invite them to this conversation. Or, I don't discuss colleagues who aren't present. Where there is no wood, the fire goes out. Proverbs 26:20. Remove the wood. Confront directly with respect. Jesus said, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. Matthew 18:15. Private courage prevents public fracture. Speak truth without venom. For the sake of our purpose, here is the concern, here's the evidence, here is the smallest safe step. Keep outcomes tied to the mission. Replace my idea with our mandate. Ask yourself before every move, does this protect people? Does this steward resources? Does this honor compliance? Does this advance purpose? If you cannot answer yes, do not proceed. The integrity of the upright will guide them, Proverbs 11:3. Reject quid pro quo. Bribes and back scratches twist judgment. A bribe blinds the discerning, Exodus 23:8. And oppression makes a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart. Ecclesiastes 7:7. Keep your hands clean and your books clean. Move at the pace of trust. He who believes will not act hastily, Isaiah 28:16. Impatience is often pride dressed like urgency. Write this down. The method matters as much as the goal. You cannot build a clean future with dirty tools. Who may ascend the hill of the Lord? He who has clean hands and a pure heart. Psalm 24:4. Clean hands are methods, pure heart is motive. What did I say? If you gain change through politics, you will lose the culture through mistrust. Choose statesmanship. Guard your mouth. Anchor your moves in mission. Confront with honor and document with clarity. Keep your ladder fastened to principle, and heaven itself will hold your weight. Now hear me. Sometimes after clean hands, clear data, and humble requests, they still say no. Write this down. Delay is not denial. If you stay submitted to purpose, time becomes your partner in influence. Habakkuk said, the vision is for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Habakkuk 2-3. Titles are impatient. Assignment is persistent. True leadership is not about getting your way. It is about staying your course. Your first battle is not the boardroom. It is your heart. Do not let rejection turn you into a bitter activist. Bitterness is leadership suicide. Let patience have its perfect work, that you may be mature and complete. James 1-4. Make a note of this. Patience is not passivity. It is disciplined progress without poison. David was anointed long before he was enthroned. Between oil and crown, there were caves, spears, and years. Yet he refused to touch Saul. Why? Because he would not sacrifice character to accelerate timing. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, Psalm 37:1. What did I say? Guard your heart, the future sits on it. Now the practical path. Take 72 hours and do 4 things. First, refine the proposal. Strip ego. Tighten the scope. Translate it again into the language of purpose, risk, and resources. Say less, prove more. Second, strengthen results. Run another micropilot in your own lane. Reduce another 5% of pain without permission drama. Document it cleanly. Third, gather allies through service, not signatures. Help 2 adjacent teams win at something they already value. When people taste help, they volunteer their endorsement. Do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we do not faint. Galatians 6-9. Fourth, reattempt with improved timing. Study decision calendars, budget cycles, audit windows, peak seasons. Ask for a slot when fear is lowest and capacity is highest. Timing is wisdom wearing a watch. Write this down. Sometimes your assignment is to reform. Sometimes it is to outgrow the environment without contempt. Joseph reformed Egypt from a prison. Nehemiah reformed Jerusalem with letters, but Abraham had to leave. If the soil refuses your seed after faithful seasons of service, testing, and clean appeals, do not curse the field. Plant yourself where your roots can breathe. A man's gift makes room for him. Proverbs 18:16. Not your anger, your gift. Exit with honor. Leave bridges intact and keep praying for the house you left. The future is long. Today's Pharaoh may call you tomorrow. Keep your spirit clean. Fast from complaint for 7 days. Replace they never listen with the mission still matters. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. Truth not only frees you, it obligates you to steward your character while you wait. Keep serving, keep learning, keep your data honest, keep your tone gentle. Write this down. Endurance is excellence over time. Timing is excellence with sense. Delay is not denial. Stay submitted to purpose, and time will start working for you, turning yesterday's no into tomorrow's obvious yes. Now, we act 7 days. Write this down. Influence is not an event. It is daily deposits that compound into inevitability. In 1 week, you can begin converting purpose into change. Value first, then trust, then credibility, until momentum begins to whisper, keep going. On day 1, disappear to reappear. Private retreat, 1 hour with a pen. Ask 3 questions before God. What is my gift? What is my motive? What change am I assigned to begin this week? Write it down. Write the vision and make it plain on tablets that he may run who reads it. Habakkuk 2:2. Search your heart. Search me, O God, and know my thoughts. Psalm 139, 2:23. Name 1 change, not 10. Purify the wise, service to purpose, protection of people, stewardship of resources, honor to God. What did I say? Purify the why. On day 2, find 1 pain point you can touch. Walk the floor. Ask, where is the unnecessary friction? Define a small fix you can implement ethically within your lane. Decide the measure before you move. Time saved, errors reduced, dollars protected, people helped. Make a note of this. If you cannot measure it, you cannot multiply it. Teach us to number our days. Psalm 90:12, counting is wisdom. On day 3, deliver 1 excellence deposit. Solve something without being asked. Quietly reduce a delay by 5 minutes. Clean a messy template. Reorder steps to remove double entry. Then communicate the outcome simply. 1 paragraph problem. Fix result. Whoever compels you to go 1 mile, go with him too. Matthew 5:41. Excellence is going the 2nd mile without a trumpet. Let your light so shine that they may see your good works. Matthew 5:16. On day 4, build trust on purpose. Encourage someone specifically. I saw the way you protected compliance yesterday. Thank you. Keep 1 small promise exactly. Guard 1 confidence rigorously. Write this down. Trust is fragile glass. Handle it with 2 hands. Therefore, encourage one another and build one another up. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. On day 5, capture credibility. Document the before and after with numbers and a short testimony with permission. Prepare a 1-page summary. Here is what happened. Here is what we did. Here is what improved. Here is what we learned. Here is the next small step. Clean font, clear chart, honest caveats. A tree is known by its fruit. Matthew 12:33. Show fruit, don't sell feelings. On day 6, lay a relational bridge. Schedule a 15-minute listening meeting, 1 above, beside, or below. Ask, what does success require for you this quarter? What is non-negotiable? Where could a small fix remove pain quickly and ethically? Reflect it back. So if we protect compliance and reduce rework that serves you, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak. James 1:19. Listening is engineering. On day 7, request a tiny pilot. Present your 1 page. Ask permission to try small with clear start, stop, and daily reporting. Say, if any risk emerges, I will shut it down immediately. Daniel asked permission and proposed 10 days. Daniel 1:12, do the same. Commit to report results and learning, not demand control. What did I say? Value, then trust, then credibility. 7 days of deposits. Repeat the cycle week by week and watch influence begin to lean the structure toward purpose. Do not grow weary in well-doing. Galatians 6-9. Start today. Now receive the charge. Stand up in your spirit and say it back to me with cadence. Value, then trust, then credibility, then momentum. Again, value, then trust, then credibility, then momentum. 1 more time so your soul hears you. Value, then trust, then credibility, then momentum. Write this down. This is not a slogan. It is a staircase. You take it with your feet, not your lips. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Psalm 37-23. Step them daily until change becomes inevitable. Identity now. Put your hand on your chest and declare with clarity, I was born to contribute. I am necessary. I carry purpose. Louder. I was born to contribute. I am necessary. I carry purpose. True leadership is about becoming, not announcing. About purpose, not position. About service, not show. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. Matthew 5:16. Not your good titles, your good works. Hear a warning as a father. Do not become a well-dressed slave with a crown, addicted to applause, starving for likes, begging for permission to be who God already said you are. For three things the earth trembles. For a servant when he reigns. Proverbs 30:21-22. A slave with a crown is still a slave, only heavier. Free yourself from approval addiction. Reduce yourself to your first name. Serve your gift until the room confers what heaven already affirmed. What did I say? Reduce the crown. Release the purpose. Now, the commission. Go back to your office, your classroom, your ministry, your volunteer team, and serve your gift until the room changes around you. Arrive tomorrow with a clean heart, a sharp plan, and quiet excellence. Protect people, steward resources, honor compliance, advance purpose. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Do not wait for the might. Let the work be the sermon. When they ask, answer with fruit. When they doubt, answer with time. When they resist, answer with integrity. Daniel did not demand the throne. He delivered an excellent spirit until thrones requested him. Make a note of this. Protect trust like it's your only currency, because it is a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Proverbs 22:1. Keep your principles when pressure rises. Clean hands, pure heart, methods and motives. Psalm 24:4. Let your life preach before your mouth speaks. In all things, showing yourself a pattern of good works, sound speech that cannot be condemned. Titus 2:7-8. Your pattern will prophesy louder than your presentation. I commission you now, housewives and heads of units, interns and inventors, teachers and technicians. Go and become the proof that leadership is purpose, not position. Build value daily, guard trust fiercely, document credibility honestly, and steward momentum humbly. May the Lord establish the work of your hands. Psalm 90:17. Start when you sit down. Walk the staircase. Live the sermon. And when they finally look for the leader, they will only be recognizing what you've been carrying all along.